Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're in tune to WINN FM 98.9. It's on your radio dial. It is a beautiful Friday. Today is Good Friday for me. It can't get any better here for those of you in the diaspora. And that was your choice. You chose not to be here. But I'm going to inform you that you have missed out on a great day here in St. Kitts and Nevis. You're in tune to Your Views. Your Views is a program that is aired on WINN FM every Friday morning. And your host is Sandra Quilly Atherton. Your Views is a pure program that we tend to sometimes, I would entertain, like today, the discussion. I would love to have your opinion. So I would open the lines, and we normally talk about things that are happening, not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis, internationally, worldwide, because we are part of this small planet called Earth. And we have basically the same type of DNA. We are Earthlings, we are human. Most of us operate in our conscious self, and so I suppose we have not yet attained our higher self. And so we are human. And human will always fail, because that is what they've put in their mindset, that they are going to fail because they're human. That is, they said to err is human, so I suppose by saying something like that, obviously you are going to err. This morning, I want to talk about a topic that I wanted to put to rest, but in St. Kitts, it's a topic that is discussed 365 days a year. Every single year for the past 60 years, I've experienced the same thing. People just talk politics. But again, it is necessary, but it's not always necessary when our days are basically dictated by, or it becomes, or always, or the topic is the norm. It's always about politics. But there's some issues that we definitely have to look at. Donald Trump, the former President of the United States, has been indicted. Could you imagine that? Donald Trump. What haven't Donald Trump gotten into that is negative? He has been indicted. What that says, nobody is above the law. And that is something that we have to look at and take into consideration, because I've been pondering and I've been thinking, the closest I've gotten to the operations and how people operate in politics is for the past 7 years. Normally, I was always on the outside looking in, encouraging and talking about, but you got up close and personal, having discussions with people who are right in there, because it's a topic, like I said, there's certain things that we definitely need to address, and you have that discussions with people who you think have that information, because I love politics. It is something that I love. It's something I would never be a politician. I would never run for office, because politics, you have to have certain characteristics to be a politician. It's a fact. Nobody going to tell me, I wasn't there, my hands were clean, I didn't do anything. That, nobody can fool me where that is concerned. People can come out and they talk, and let me tell you, I'm talking to the electorates. These people, they don't care about us. Why? When Unity was in power, when Labour was in power, Pam spoke about all the negative things that Labour was doing. And they were preaching as though, when we go in, we're going to do this, we're going to make things different, and we're going to do this. Of course, they did certain things different. But at the end of the day, when they were in office for 15 years, Labour came back and spoke about the corruption, the corruptible practices. You had a commission of inquiry about a party that spoke so bad about what the Labour Party did. Later on, there was a commission of inquiry. But of course, again, the electorates, we were not privy to the information or what happened, the end results of the inquiry. Again, that is what people do. Corruption comes in different forms. So if I use one method, when you come in, you're going to use another. Then Unity came in and they talk about all of the ills that Labour would have done. We saw some of them, very obvious. Going back to the hands of the IMF, putting us in the hands of the IMF. We talk about other things that were done, neglected, National debt was at an all-time high, was totally ignored. And these are the things that we saw. You can get vexed with me, but I'm going to talk facts. And that is one of the problems that I find with our citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, is that we are blinded by political parties. They are human. You know what upsets me? And I don't care a minister gets $17,000 or $25,000 a month. We are talking about people who were poor, or it was one of the impressions that they gave. They had absolutely nothing, couldn't afford to pay mortgage, couldn't afford to pay child support, couldn't afford to do anything. And after 5 years, they drove the best vehicles. They live in the biggest houses. And you ask yourself the question, at whose expense? Who was responsible for buying those things? They've secured millions in the bank, and it's a fact. And the people who are closely related to them benefit big time. People became millionaires themselves, and they were not politicians. Their salaries were not $25,000 or $17,000 a month, but they themselves became millionaires. And you ask yourself the question, and these are the people that you do not see in the protests, you do not hear on the radio. They are in the back for one reason and one reason only. If the party doesn't succeed, they don't want to be victimized. So, for all of us, the activists who will go out and talk hard and talk loud and talk the things, we are the ones who are targeted by the government or the opposition when they form government. And the people who benefited most are the ones who are still working. Still working. And those who are hanging on still are the ones who are benefiting from campaign funds. These are the problems, and this is the corruptible practices of politicians, and that is one of the reasons why Donald Trump is indicted, finally. I see people cussing other people because of politicians. I see people were cussing big time because they thought that they would have benefited bigly. But the unfortunate thing is they were not qualified for any positions. They were only paid a small amount of money because they only understand small money, and they had to hush. They have already compromised themselves, and so they have to hush. Unlike Sandra Quilly-Atherton, I am never compromised. Never. So I don't have to hush. I can talk. I talk free. And anybody who wants to victimize me, of course, it's life. But my understanding is this life, you see, this life that we live, this dream that we think it's a reality that we live in, it's only for a time. And until we understand that we are all equal and we are all connected, and we should not give power to the beast, because that's what it becomes when they're put in office, you must not give power to the beast. We should change the way that we think about politics and politicians. But everybody think about, how am I going to benefit? If I put labor in, I can benefit bigly. If I put unity in, I can benefit bigly, because there's some people who are very close and who benefits big. I remember when everybody started, Mom, my name was big on the radio. Oh, Sandra was getting paid for talking on the radio, talking against Mark. Sandra was getting paid to do this. Who was paying me? And the same people who were talking are now getting paid. $10,000 sitting down, no office, and ain't doing nothing. I remember those questions, and it's happening now. And this is why I say to people, don't be fooled. It's only wrong because they are not benefiting. But when the tables are turned, it is not wrong. And all of them are hiding. And you ask about robbing the treasury money, the people's purse. It always will be the people's purse. And at the end of the day, when the practices continues, it's the people who are going to suffer. When we are placed back in the hands of IMF, poor people are going to feel it harder. You see what the prices are like on the shelves? Well, let me tell you, it's only going to get worse. The millionaires wouldn't have a problem because they can jump on a plane or they can order and they can pay. But we, the poor people, we are going to, not me. Let me take out that we, because I am not a poor person. Never would be, never was, and never will be. The poor ones who feel that they're poor, they're the ones who are going to suffer most. The poor ones who feel that they have to depend and they cannot say anything because their bread is dependent on the people who they're talking about, then they forever will have a problem. We have to wake up as a nation. Politics is killing the world. Politicians, because of their ego and their arrogance, creates wars, and who fight them? Your children. They encourage division. Who's going to benefit? Them. And we, the silly ones who are affected, not we, I'm going to take me out of it. And you, the silly ones who are affected, are the ones who continue to do so. I could imagine what the messages look like on Facebook now. Oh, shut up, you're fat, this, that's what you do. Or only now, that's what you're going to say. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say. You, at the end of the day, would suffer. Because when politicians pay you to do things that are not right and to make you hush so you can't talk, let me tell you guys, I spoke because of what I saw. When I spoke on the issues. I talk about where the country was, the PAP program, the the peace program, the STEP programs, where our economy was. Those were facts. Those were facts that could not be changed. But when you come and you start to make it look like this is not being, oh, you all are saying, things are happening. Our crime rate is escalating. Who do we talk to? You cannot change a program unless there's an alternative. If it's not broken, why fix it? And that is where we are at, because you feel like, oh, the people who would have done it, they're going to reap the benefits. And so you're going to change it because if you said it was corrupted, there must be a percentage of it that was corrupted. And another percentage was doing what it was supposed to do. Why not get rid of the corrupted percentage and continue the ones that were done for the purpose? Why not? Why get rid of it in its entirety and wreak havoc like what's happening here? It's the mind of the human. It doesn't matter what you say. You are not the ones who are being killed. Your children are protected. They have security, police security. You have security. Why are you walking around with security if you think the country is so safe? Why do you have to have police security then? You're supposed to be walking as free as I am. Why do you have to be driven with an entourage of 3 and 4 vehicles? Why? Destroying the ozone layer, creating more toxins than ever, because you have 5 people going into this, 5 vehicles going into the same direction at the same place at the same time. Does that make sense? And we sit around and we think that, yeah, because we are so gullible and we are so brainwashed. We talk about slavery. Oh, we want reparations, and you're still enslaved by your own, mentally, and some people are still physically. Because such as the wage that they're paid and hard work that they have to do, and nobody pay attention to that. At the end of the day, we have to wake up. Politicians are necessary. You guys are necessary, but then you don't have to be that corrupt. Take time. It takes some time, like everybody else. You have 5 years. But after a year, you're set, you're good. The birthday parties are bigger than ever. The traveling, they don't work here anymore. Always on an aircraft going where? What information is coming back? Prices are where poor people are affected. Nothing is being done. The prices are skyrocketing. You go into the supermarket and you buy something today for $3.95. Next week you go back, it's $8, and that's a fact. Everything and everyone is out of control. One of the things I'm happy about is the fact that we would have had the unity construct where we had 3 different mindsets coming together, and people would have experienced a change in how things were done. Poor people were benefiting, and that's a fact. It mattered not which party you supported, you were benefiting. When government go in and start sending home people, you ever stop to think that these people have families that they have to feed? It has to stop. I don't care who party is in power. It has to stop. The same thing is happening over and over and over again. And we come on the radio as talk show hosts or voices, people calling, and they say the same thing over and over and over again. I know there's power in the tongue because this world will speak into existence. I know that for a fact. So there's power in the tongue, but we are talking, and nothing is happening. When you talk, they start digging up things on you and they bring it out because they don't want you to talk. Instead of making the changes that are necessary, what they do, they bring up things about you. Oh, don't take her on. She only talking now because Timothy gave her land. Where? Timothy gave her that, this. Where? And that is how people are. We have some resignations coming from the unity concept. And let me tell you, from PLP, people are resigning, and people who are sitting on the outside, not having an understanding, coming up with all kind of assumptions and coming to conclusions that are fictitious and false. And yes, we love the gossip. We are not looking at the real problem, the problem that we need a viable opposition, and when people are resigning, something is definitely wrong. Everybody pull out their defense mechanism and start defending without having the facts. I laugh so hard when I see what people are saying, not having an understanding of what is happening. I mean, information coming out from meetings that is not so. And people have formulated in their minds and come to a conclusion, and not only concluded for themselves, but put it out there like it's facts, and people run with it. At the end of the day, when we do not have an opposition, we, the people, are going to suffer. President Trump, the former president of the United States, has been indicted. He was accused of even paying for porn. You see what they use government monies for? These are the kind of things. I mean, we sit here and I'm laughing. It's not a joke, but it makes me happy. And that is why I laugh, because we sit here and we get the crumbs from the table and we are happy. But when you get to know, honestly, when you get to know who these people really are, I mean, it's sad. I can't believe that we know that humans are who they are. They're greedy, they're egoistic, they love power, they are obsessed. It's a serious obsession, and they would do anything. Trust me, when I say they would do anything for power, they would do. I have experienced that. And it's frightening. It is frightening where people not having an understanding that we are all powerful and we could do whatever we want if we want to. If we really believe in it, we can get it done. According to the Christians, the Bible says if you have faith as big as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. It's a fact. If you believe in your mind, my son and I was having a discussion about a man wanting to jump from one building to another. As soon as you start thinking about the jump, you're going to fall. Just start thinking about you being there. Adrenaline kicks in and you can make it. Trust me. And that is the power that we have as human beings. Nobody is as powerful as you. We are all equal. We can do whatever we want to do. Stop worshiping the man. I see people come to Prime Minister. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, you want to be recognized because you want a favor, of course. It upsets me when I see people do that. Maximum leader, lauded, they are lauded. Me? I'm going to tell my story one of these days. Yeah, at one point in time, I was gullible. And I didn't think I was gullible. I thought I was reporting the facts. But one of these days, the story will be told. I'll open the lines, 466-0989-762, 098-9662-0989. If you want to call in and want to be a part of the program, we want to know what we can do different as the electorate. The power lies in us. The monies that are paid out during election time. I tell somebody, listen, I can run a campaign without paying a person, anybody 1 cent. And I can run a campaign and win. They say, no, Sandro, it's a habit. Let's go to the phone lines and take this call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Good morning, Sandro.
Hey, good morning. How you do?
Oh, Lord, I feel good and I will hear you.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
and you know what make me feel so good?
Uh-huh.
You are telling it like it is.
Always do. Can't do otherwise.
Exactly. That is the way it should be told. You're not holding back nothing in a fab, a little pocket. That's right. And a lot of people who are benefiting, who are not supposed to be benefiting what they are getting. I know that they don't like to hear you, people like you who speak.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to be exposed. And we, the electorate, we have the control to put up and take down and move. But what happened to a lot of us insane kids? We like to see a problem, and the problem aggravates us.
Mm-hmm.
But we would not stand up and open our mouth and speak out, and that could help to solve the problem that we see. They rather to stay on the sidewalk and talk to somebody one-on-one and say, "Well, me no like what am I doing? Look what you do."
Mm-hmm.
But speak out.
You have the power.
When they don't speak out, they who doing the wrong, they feel like the wrong that they are doing is right.
No, they know it's wrong, but nobody's talking about it. They will never feel it's right. They know it is wrong, but nobody's talking about it.
You're right. Now, it has been said for years. Oh, St. Kitts is what you call it, a Christian country. Well, St. Kitts is a Christian society country. Why is it in the world one person has to have 6 and 5 cars driving in front and behind with 15 police in it? What that for?
And
what a fearful.
And no, and we are crime free. Huh? We are a country where we shouldn't be afraid of anything because we're crime free.
Exactly. But you see what happened now? The crime started to rise up again.
Mm-hmm.
And the crime is happening like if you have, let me use a dog. You have a dog, and you put down the dog food in front of it, and it started eating, and you only got to go hold the bowl or whatever the dog eating out, so you can snap at your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dog know, well then, hey, no, you give me this, and you come in taking it away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can do something to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
That is what happened around here. There was the peace program. However they get to do, it was keeping down the crime.
Exactly.
Yes, there were some people who should have known better and done better with the money. But that there could have been solved later on.
It's phases. It goes in steps. Step
That's
1,
right.
you have to sacrifice. Step 2, while sacrificing, you're informing and reforming. And step 2, you're weaning. And step 3, they're on their own and they can work for themselves and be basically, they can be prosperous. That
That's
is how
right.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah. No, you don't criticize something, and then when you get there, you don't make any change for the better. Whatever change you make, what you criticize about, you make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, these people here who are being hurt by the changes that they made, those are the ones who are showing them that, hey, listen, things were going good this way, and you're coming to change it, back to square one, and it's going to be worse.
No, they're pushed into survival mode. I don't want you to think that
Yeah,
people.
yeah, okay,
but when
sorry,
you don't
yeah,
have,
yeah, that's the word.
people are pushed into survival mode, and you'll do anything to survive.
Right, yep. Mm-hmm.
That's the
Definitely, because
psyche of man.
It is said a drowning man grab at a straw.
Definitely.
Now, let me go. Let me make something else there on the seawater, and then I'm gonna come off.
Mm-hmm.
The Americans have a law that as long as you're out on the seawater in a boat, you must have a life jacket in that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you carry passengers or you're going to fish, because if the Coast Guard catch you without that, they carry you to the office and they deal with you. And that is what is lacking around here. Look at those people in that boat that capsized. 32 of them in there, 15 saved and what? 15
17.
and
17.
some of them. Right. Oh yes. Some of them out there cannot be found. Well, they could tell us that they're drowned. And according to the news, there was no life jacket on that boat.
Wow.
None. So therefore, if you cannot swim and you have a life jacket, just rest your face on that life jacket, and you're gonna keep your head above water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling on all islands with Coast Guard or whatever it is, go out and make sure every boat that you see on the water, they all have a life jacket. Save lives. Because it's not easy to drown. You're swimming and you can't see where you're going. Anyway, son, you keep it up here.
Thank you.
I love your way on your show.
And
You're not hiding nothing.
No, I can only be me.
That's right. They used to say, oh, culture and Mr. Politics getting paid to talk.
Mm.
Well, Timothy and PLP and Unity is out. But look, culture's still talking.
Definitely.
So who's paying me? The devil?
I'll pay you. When I get paid, I'll pay you. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to continue to listen, darling.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. Okay. It is a fact, and you can't change them. That's the only thing you can't do. You can't change the facts. They're the facts. We have to recognize where we have put ourselves. I remember before I understood the word electorate, I thought they were saying the illiterates, and couldn't understand why they allow themselves to be called the illiterates. But sometimes we behave the part. Let's go to the phone lines and take a call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am great.
Okay. I'm listening to you, and I want to ask you a question. The government of the day, presently, what did they change about the peace program?
Is there a peace program, sir?
Is there not a peace program? Because I'm listening to you, and it seems that you're saying they don't have one.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said I opened the line so you can come and you can inform and educate. Is there a peace program, sir?
No, because, the reason why I asked the question is that you're saying that what they met, they changed, which led to what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Your words.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out what exactly are you saying?
The reason why things are happening the way they are happening now is because something would have been changed.
Something would have been changed?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that they met with the peace guys and ladies the other day in the park to restructure in terms of probably putting them in some skill program and so on? Are you aware that the guys are still getting their money?
All the guys are still getting their money?
It's about all the guys. So the guys who are killing are the ones who are not getting the money.
No. I'm not that. You called to info. Listen, I said to you before, and I'm going to say it again for those of you who are calling in. When I open my lines so that people can be properly informed. I don't have all of the information because if if they use the proper airways and people are aware of what is happening, I suppose people are going to talk. Otherwise, if you have information, feel free to say it. Don't you? You're asking me question. It's obvious that I don't know. So if you know and it's a fact.
Lady, what, the reason why I said let me ask your question is because when you make wholesale statements that this have changed and that is the reason why these things are happening, then you should be armed with the facts.
Well, let me tell you.
Because you're telling the world and the public that this is happening because of this.
I know of three people. I know of 3 people who were on the peace program, and to date they're not getting any money. So I am talking from that perspective. People come to me and tell me why, and this is why I'm here. But if you have other information, then talk, because I can talk from what I know, and I suppose you can talk from what you know. So and in a case like that, so
it's funny that we need to have all facts because we have a whole list of persons, and there were persons who found themselves on the list and never got paid when the government was there. And if I'm following your line of thinking, if they weren't committing anything and this wasn't happening then, and they wasn't getting paid, and you know of a few or 3 who might not be getting the money and things happening now, then it shows the way we rationalize things. So it's not about you saying something or I'm trying to figure out where you're going with your statements, because if you know this is happening because of that, then we have a problem. Additionally,
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
On the peace one, I think you should try to get the facts before you say things.
Then bring the facts. Then bring the facts. That is why the line is open. I am going to make statements based on what I know. You have information instead of coming listen. Based on what I was told, and if you have information, instead of coming and interrogating me, come in and state the facts. Why are you hiding behind the facts? You have the facts. You call in and you said, well, then make your statements and say.
You made a statement, and all I wanted to do is find out if you have facts for your statement. That's what I wanted.
Okay, maybe if this program go on longer, somebody who was on the peace program would call in and say that they haven't gotten any money. If you know for a fact that these people are being paid, all of them are being paid, then make the statement. I can't question.
I hope that the person or persons who are not getting paid, if they do call, they will say, well, we are not getting paid, or maybe I work. But I'm not engaged in anything.
Okay,
because there were persons who are on the peace program who are not even involved in anything named crime.
Well, but then you have those facts.
Just before the election, the government decided to put on 400 persons, ladies who walk in, people who walk in cars, people who run taxi. And you see, we're going on the wrong road, and we think that crime is initiated or centered around this peace program.
No. Listen. You.
Was more a political.
No. What you're going in another direction. What we have been saying is that when the program was in place, we were not having this problem. So one would assume.
So hold on. Don't say that, because that's not true. I can name persons who died when this program started. Shot in their head, dead.
So let me ask you a question. What is your point? Can you make it, please?
My point is that what you said just a while ago is misleading.
What I said what was misleading. Don't just say what I said a while ago. What did I say?
You are saying, you're putting in the general public and the world sphere that crime is happening in Kansas because the present government made changes to the peace program.
I said that?
That's what you said.
I said that?
You could look it. Yes, you could look it up.
Okay. Let me say it again while you're on the line, so that you could understand what I said. I said, if you are going to make changes, make sure there is an alternative, because when you make changes, these are the things that happens. Okay? You can't get rid of something. I'm going to say it again. You can't get rid of something and do not replace it with something else, because desperate people, when you put people into survival mode, they are going to do desperate things. That is what I would have said. So tell me what you are saying that I said. You have to learn to listen right.
But you just said it again, you know?
What?
you just said it again because
If
you are assuming that these desperate persons who are not getting monies from the peace program or whatever you're thinking is causing this problem in St. Kitts and Nevis. That's what you just said.
So what 7 years ago, we had a lull in crime. There were certain programs that were...
We had a lot. We had people being missing. The guys were keeping... They had their own criminal justice system where they was trying to make sure that they continue to get the money, so they kept it under wraps. People were going missing. People were... Selected persons were killed. You forget? Are you living in somewhere else?
Selected persons were killed. We didn't have people going into restaurants and opening fire. We didn't have the situation where people are driving down and in an area. It doesn't matter who there, who exposed to it, and opening fire. That we had that before, and that form.
The community that I'm from, right? So, 2 guys killed while people were playing card, while fellas stood in the bush and tear fire on a veranda, killed 2 persons.
That's Buckley.
A 3rd person died. 3rd person died in 2017. You know that?
Yeah, but 2017. That's when
You don't know that.
Of course, that's in Buckley's. That in 2000.
That's not Buckley's. That wasn't Buckley's.
Where it was.
I don't live Buckley's.
Where it was.
I don't live Buckley's.
Listen, sir. Let me tell you something. I am not going to have you call in and we're going to have an argument because it's not helping
I'm
anybody.
not arguing with you. I'm telling you that what you're saying is wrong.
Well,
You're
then
giving
if
the wrong impression. That's
for
why
you,
criminals continue to get free.
because you're blinded by political parties, that is how you feel. You are.
You don't have a political party because, as far as I'm concerned, you're saying that the ozone will be depleted because 15 people in some vehicles driving with the new prime minister is causing problems. You're talking about him because that's what he used to do. So you're warping the whole thing.
You have a right.
Come on,
That's one of the good things about this program is that you have a right to say what you want to say. But we are going to give somebody.
You're saying things that are not correct.
And I'm going to continue to say it. And if it's not correct, then the people who have the information would correct me. You are basing on assumptions. I am not going to argue with people who are based on assumptions.
Because you're supposed to be giving us facts.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for your contribution. It's a pleasure. I am not going to deprive anybody else who wants to call in. If enough people will call in and tell me I'm doing the same thing, maybe I have to reconsider. But in the meantime and between time, let's hear what other people have to say. And that is one of the issues that I have with people. Because you're talking not in their favor. Let us stop looking at political parties and becoming politically blinded. I was there. And I'm going to say it, I was there. When you start to look at things differently, then people have a problem with you. Let's go to the phone lines and take a call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Yes, a pleasant good morning to you, Sandra. How are you?
I am great. Cannot be any better.
Okay. Well, I'm still here, and I'm with you 100% with what you're saying. And who is hot? He hot. You're right. Whatever you're saying, it's fact. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. And I don't want it to hurt anybody. I just want people to become aware of what is happening. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. And I say, and I'm going to say it again, sometimes you look at situations and you think this is it. People, and it's a fact that people have benefited on every single political party. I like Ira McMahon, he hasn't called in yet, where he talked about good governance and the good governance agenda, and it's something that he's pushed and he's been constantly pushing. I haven't heard him lately, so maybe I think that he's not satisfied that that agenda has not been accomplished yet, because I suppose that's what everybody's intention is, to see the good governance agenda. That can only happen when you talk about it. You're free to do so. Let's go to the phone lines and take a call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Sandra, good morning.
Hi,
How are you?
I am great.
How much more do they had from last year to this year? Look, around since the government changed. I tell somebody it was 7.
I think people are saying it's 7. I think it's 7, they've said. I don't go around counting number of people dead because it's not a good thing. But I think it's 7 people they said that was killed. I can't confirm that.
I said more than I had from last year to this year.
Yeah.
Okay,
within the 8 months.
In the 8 months?
Yeah.
Well, I just hope that the young man changed their mind, because I don't know what they're killing one another for.
Exactly.
Up to now, we don't know. We don't know what they're fighting for. We don't know who they're making room for.
Exactly.
They need to hold it down.
Thank you.
The end of the day, all of us petition. I don't know what the hell they're doing this to each other. For when they kill out them young men, when the country want man, what they gonna do? Who gonna stand up for us?
The women who have changed, of course.
And people coming from all over the Caribbean now making saying kids who are fighting against each other and killing one another like that.
Thank you.
Eh?
Thank
They
you.
don't realize what they're doing. Every one of them I get kill this petition. They're killing out the road, they don't understand. Think it's only 68 square mile. Everybody know running to St. Kitts. St. Kitts is the breadbasket for the Caribbean.
We
now.
are accepting
and I
them.
just tell people when St. Kitts is down, nobody the one St. Kitts. And I proud to be a Kitchen because when you were down, I was down there.
It's true.
And now we on top, man, stand up for I believe in, stand up for your country. We gonna need I in the long run. We gonna need I, man, because some I don't even torture yet. I left nothing and I just a kill. Eh? Everybody make St. Kitts the home. St. Kitts got this way. And I hold it down, man, look good and sounding good because everyone is mother. Petition.
Thank you.
Petition.
Thank you.
We is one Caribbean. They say we is one Caribbean. But we ain't one people. One Caribbean, but we different countries. And I believe that this modern thing, just like how they clean up the pap and the piece, they need to put a cap on this free movement and clean up this place.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the criminals them background, weed them out. Because you don't know who doing crime. When they come into your country, make sure they got clean background. You ever been to jail for drugs, gun or whatever, don't let them come. When they go to jail for a crime, send them back where they come from. How you gonna get with a crime? Because you don't know who doing it. And a couple years ago, I hear a young fellow from a popular country, saying he in St. Kitts for 6 years and how much people he done rob and he never worked to take care of any girl. I turn to other partner and say, you hear that? Who you think getting the blame now? Petition? Where the hell is one coming from? Some of them never even pass the airport now, the seaport, and these are the big gun when me see them. I mean, me look at all of Haiti and all of them country. See these with these big hell of gun. A lot of them who come into St. Kitts, from the Caribbean, they got connection somewhere. That's how I see these guns coming into the country. They have to got connection with somebody for these guns coming in. Where the hell they getting this kind of gun from? Man, I stop it, man. Stop it. He ain't in the country no way. I'm a Kittian. I'm proud to be a Kittian. Me love St. Kitts, love myself. And me want to do this year and stop the killing. Senseless killing for no reason. We're going to need her in the long run, okay?
Thank you.
And you have a blessed day, and that's all I got to say. And I wish my country well.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And these are the contributions that you want to hear, where people have a good understanding of where it went, where it's wrong. It is wrong. People are put in position to put measures in place, and that is what we are asking. If you're going to revamp a program, you have to have another one that is going to support it. If you're going to make changes, it's the same thing with PAP. There are people who really need the money. There are people, I know of a young lady who spoke to me and she told me she's a single mother, and her salary is on the $3,000, and that is what PAP was meant to be. People who have a salary on the in a household who works for less than $3,000, you become eligible for the $500 a month. People have been taken off the program. People who should be there. I'm not talking about those who were there and should not have been there. Just like the caller would have called me and said, there are people who are on the peace program that they shouldn't have been there. That is the corruption you talk about. It matters not who is in there. There are people who are on programs who are not supposed to be there. There are people who are placed on these programs for political benefits. They should not have been there. It matters not who political party is in power. These are the things that we're saying. And people who are supposed to be there, they are taken off. And some people are still there and they're not supposed to be there, but because of the party that they support, it's a fact. So when is it wrong then? Is it wrong because you're not benefiting and I am benefiting? Or is it just wrong? And these are the questions that you ask. Politics is one of the biggest dividing factor in the world. St. Kitts, for me, we talk politics 365 days a year. We support parties, political parties, to the point that we would kill our family members, not literally kill them, but we would destroy relationships with our families because of the political party that they support. But we don't have an understanding that at the end of the day, politicians look for themselves and their friends and their family. So when they're out there talking about what one didn't do, and one of the things we never assess, and it upsets me, where we are positioned, we just go in and vote out because you feel as an individual you're not getting anything. The country is doing well. I heard a woman say, I don't care if they take me off the pop. We're going to get rid of them. I don't care where the party is, where the country is positioned. We're going to get rid of them. These are the kind of things that people say. And that is one of the reasons why I was young. When I was younger, the name given, the electorates, I thought they were saying the illiterates. And the things that we see some people do, I was convinced that was the word that should have been used. We are having some serious problems in St. Kitts and Nevis. People can't seem to find a solution. I believe when you put yourself up for election, you're supposed to have already identified all of the problems and you have some of the solutions. I remember, can't remember the year that I was working with Bernard Welch. He was running as a candidate for constituency number 3. The peace program is not something that just started with unity. I remember him visiting one of these guys who was supposed to be the head of the gangs. And he came up with the same idea, the peace program. He came up with the same idea, but he wasn't given any recognition. The same idea of where it should have gone. But he had phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. In order for you to reap benefits, you have to do some investments. And that is what I saw. We saw the program. We had the discussion. I went with him on more than one occasion, had the discussion, and I was really, really awed, about his approach to this thing. And I was even more shocked when I saw and recognized that the people who were in the situation wanted a solution to it. Nobody wants to know that they're marked for death. But it's an environment that has been created. It's either you do or you die. We on the outside, we don't know what is happening. We take things lightly, and callers are going to call in, like the one who wants to have an argument. You're going to call in, but you don't have solutions. It is not because this is the government's approach, because you're trying to get rid, and I said it earlier, I forgot to say, I said it earlier, the people who were not supposed to be there, they were weaned, and I agree with them. The people who were not supposed to be there were weaned, but people who were supposed to have been there, they too were taken off. And I hope he's not insinuating that I think that these people who have been taken off are the ones who are committing crimes. Because there's some people who are still on the program and they're committing crimes. The program is not about paying people. It's about reshaping, rehabilitating. That is what is seriously missing. You don't just give somebody some money to stop killing people. When that money dries up, what is going to happen? It's a program where there's certain steps that are taken. But if you take one step and you don't take the second step, you're going to find yourself in the same problem. It is continuous. So you go in and the focus for the government was to look at how corrupt the peace program was. And you're going to get rid of the corruption. But how are you going to fix the problem of crime? How are you going to make the program, the peace program, work properly after you would have taken out the corruption? You're focusing on what the other party did. You're not focusing on the impact that it would create on society. there was a part of the program that was corrupted, and there was another part of the program that was working. How do you make it work in its entirety? Let's go to the phone lines and take a call. Call your life on your views.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I have that I want to speak about.
Mm-hmm.
I have been trying to, I'm not going to tell you the area or which department in government this PS works.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying for the past, in fact, it's about 2 months now I've been trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just the response from the receptionist, oh, you have to call back. She does come work late, you know. I say, okay, I'll give her half an hour. 8:30 I called. 9:30, Miss, you're going to have to call back again. And I keep calling and calling. I've left my landline number, my cell number. To this day, the PS has not returned my call. I'm very concerned.
Yep, and they're changing
Because
things.
my thing, you're going to go in at 1. You're going to go in at 2 and expect to be given a full month's pay. It's not right. You are stealing from
The treasury.
the government. Don't do that to us. We did not vote for those kind of things. And you have the number to call the individual. But yet, you're going to work late, but you're on Facebook bashing people who have to talk about you. Huh? It defeats the purpose of people going down there to see the PS and she's not there. These things are wrong. And when you have to try to get to the minister, there is a problem. Oh, she ain't taking the calls. And if you call them, they're declining. Give me a break. We did not vote for that. Help people. They have helped you to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
They have helped you to get a job. How you going to, when people go into work, you're supposed to work from 8 or 8. Okay, you're going 8:30. You finish. If you want to go in and finish at 8 o'clock, is your business. But I sure you might have signed maybe a contract to work from 8 to 4. And if you saw fit to go on, that is your problem. You decided that. But don't go into work on government's time. Huh? Late, and then you cannot meet the people who want to see you.
Well, I appreciate your call, and I wish you could have gone on, but I'm totally out of time, and I've seen Socrates out there, man who doesn't mix matters when it comes around his time, so I am so sorry that, and I do understand what you're saying. It's something that we said all the time. If you're going to change, you change for better, not continue doing the same. And so I asked the question again, who are we changing for? Are we changing so that we could be at the end of that spectrum where you are the one who's benefiting from the same practices? Or are we changing because we think it's the right thing to do? And that is something that we have to think about. It was a pleasure being here with you. It's a beautiful Friday, and I cannot leave without talking about them times. I'm not paid, still waiting on the wings that I was promised, but it's a good place for you to spend your Friday after your weekends. And during the weekdays, you can order your lunch. It's really something that there would not be any regrets. Them times on 4th Street, it's a place to spend your weekend. Music in galore, food is absolutely great, and the environment is perfect for you to distress if that is what you want. I've seen that we have flu and everything is still moving around. Everybody's sick. And I still would encourage you guys to wear your mask, hand sanitize, and social distance is a must. Thank God for those are the protocols for COVID, but at the same time, the ill feeling and the stress that you feel from this flu, take the necessary precautions. My name is Sandra Quilly-Atherton. It was a pleasure to be here. I look forward to doing this again next Friday. Stay tuned to WINN FM 98.9. Voices is up next.